मूविंग ऑन। भाई टॉमी लिन सेल्स पता है क्या तेरे को शिवा? हाँ, टॉमी लिन सेल्स भाई इसने पता है इसने
कौन
भी
से टाइप
काफी
के सेल्स है?
भाई यार
तुम्हें सुन पता है?
शिवांग केपी वाले जोक्स मत मारा कर यार, बहुत ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहा है इसके साथ।
2 महीने और होपफुली 2-3 महीने। हाँ बट भाई टॉमी भाई का क्या सीन था, ये गया, एक फैमिली थी, तो इसने क्या किया, हस्बैंड का डिक चॉक ऑफ किया,
She castrated him.
कट कट कट
She
इसने
castrated him. That's the word you're looking for.
हाँ हाँ, तो अबे तो इसने ना, ये इतना मतलब ये इतना हॉरिफिक है ना। अबे वैसे तुम लोग को ये नहीं लग रहा कि ट्रू क्राइम का पॉडकास्ट काफी जॉयफुली कर ले रहे हैं हम लोग? इतना चेहरे पे हंसी, भाई अपने को ना पुलिस आ जाए क्वेश्चनिंग करने की भाई।
उनको पहले
क्योंकि आजकल पुलिस यही कर रही है, पुलिस यही सब चीज देख रही है, उनको एक्चुअल क्राइम से फर्क नहीं पड़ता। 4 लोग ऑनलाइन क्या मस्ती कर रहे हैं उसमें भाई देश को बहुत खतरा पड़ जा रहा है। तो अरे तो शिवांग ये पता है, इसने एक फैमिली थी, तो जाता है हस्बैंड को कैस्ट्रेट करता है, गोटी गायब, और फिर उसके बाद उसने जो वुमेन थी वो प्रेग्नेंट थी, तो उसने उसको मारा बैट से। और वो स्ट्रेस इतना इतना ज्यादा स्ट्रेस था, इतना स्ट्रेस में आ गई वो मार खाने से कि शी वेंट इनटू लेबर, क्योंकि वो प्रेग्नेंट थी और बच्चा पैदा हो गया। शी गेव बर्थ टू अ डॉटर, तो उसने वो न्यूबॉर्न चाइल्ड को भी मार दिया, और उनका एक बेटा भी था, उसे भी मार दिया। और मतलब काफी चिल था इसका इंटरव्यू, हम लोग देख रहे थे तो ना उल्टा कह रहा है कि ब्लड देखने में कुछ अलग ही मजा है ऐसा कुछ।
he was like doing this for cheap thrill, सस्ते नशे type situation.
सीरियसली
भाई
टू
तो
डार्क।
ये काफी डिस्टर्बिंग, ये मतलब
बहुत ही घटिया था वो
न्यू बॉर्न
देखने
बच्चे
में।
को मार दिया।
It was मतलब बहुत ही घटिया। I was going to say कि let's break it up with somebody who is less menacing, but then I realized कि सारे serial killers बेकार ही होते हैं। उसमें अच्छा बुरा कुछ नहीं होता। So basically, there's this new doc out called about the Cecil Hotel. I knew about this ages ago. I should say I've known this for years, and it is not information that I've acquired because of the documentary. I've known it since Shane and Brian from BuzzFeed Unsolved did an episode about it. So, so basically, obviously, the Cecil Hotel, one of the biggest stories is about Eliza Lamb, who was found in like a tank up on the hotel, and there's no explanation of how she got there. And the only
देखिए
huh?
कोई याद आ रहा था, कोई डिफरेंट हो तो याद नहीं आ रहा कौन सा गेम।
उसके क्लाइमैक्स सीन में एक उसमें शायद बॉडी रहता है और एक सूटकेस में बहुत सारे पैसे होते हैं और ऊपर का टैंक फट जाता है, उस सूटकेस में बॉम्ब रहता है और भाई पूरे होटल में पानी बहता है भाई। मतलब मेरे टॉप बॉलीवुड कॉमिक सीन्स में वेलकम का वो जो मेरी आई एम सिक एंड टायर्ड ना, और उसका वो स्टीयरिंग व्हील हाथ में आता है, फिर वो जो पूरा सीन है, और ये दे दनादन का क्लाइमैक्स जिसमें पानी नीचे आ रहा है, भाई ये दोनों बहुत फनी, दोनों में अक्षय कुमार है।
तो
राइट विंग हो गया बेचारा।
I don't understand how his wife is still with him, but ठीक है। but
पैसे ब्रो,
राजेश खन्ना भी कवर नहीं था।
अबे तो basically she was found in a tank, water tank, hotel के ऊपर, and the only reason people found out about it is because पानी में कुछ गड़बड़ थी when they would turn on the taps and stuff, and पानी का color अलग था, कुछ और problem थी. So they checked and they found her there. No explanation of how she got there or anything. But basically, I have some facts about this hotel because this hotel is essentially cursed. I mean, when I say cursed, I mean कि सब बुरा चीज इधर ही होती है. So apparently, this was founded in 1924, and it was supposed to be a destination for business travelers and tourists. But when Great Depression happened, और फिर उनकी clientele ही बदल गई. Obviously, no tourists or business people came. Instead, like serial killers और ये सब आके रहते थे उधर. तो basically, I'll tell you what happened. So anything according to somebody who used to live in the Cecil Hotel, because Cecil Hotel was home to a lot of homeless people. So somebody who lived there and he said कि anything above 6th floor was dangerous. मतलब सीधा 6th floor के ऊपर नहीं जाने का.
Cecil Hotel basically इनका Continental था from John Wick. Serial killer लोग का.
फिर somebody also said कि there would be at least 3 911 calls per day from that hotel. And there
हम
were
लोग का 911 तो
फिर उस होटल की former manager says कि there were 80 deaths in the hotel during the time she was a manager. मतलब 80 लोग मरे हैं जितने टाइम में वो मैनेजर थी. फिर obviously Eliza Lamb was killed over there. फिर उसकी मरने के बाद instead of people going oh हमें यहाँ नहीं जाना चाहिए, humans are crazy, so what did
Tourist
people
spot
do?
बन गया रहेगा.
Hotspot बन गया, exactly, everybody visited that place. So this is back in 1931. Somebody called W.K. Norton overdosed on poisonous capsules in his hotel room, and this death is like the earliest reported suicide in that hotel. Where in 1962, after a flight with her husband, this woman jumped out from the window of the 7th-story hotel room and landed on a pedestrian and killed them both. दोनों मर गए on the spot.
बेचारा वो
Brave
सूर्य
moment for the
कॉफी
pedestrian.
लेने जा रहा है. आइला.
Bruh. कैसे मरा, आदमी गिर गया ऊपर से.
उधर चित्रगुप्त हिसाब लिख रहे हैं क्या येड़े. साइड में जाके खड़े हो जा. अबे यार
अपने इधर क्रोर शीट गिरता है, उधर पे इंसान गिरता है नीचे से.
भाई
Bruh.
इसीलिए फुटपाथ पे नहीं चलने का, रोड के बीच में चल. अपने इंडिया में तो चलते ही है लोग.
If somebody dies after watching this podcast, Ketan Pandey is responsible for his or her or their death. We are not, P and Shivang are not responsible for anything that happens here on after.
भाई मेरे जैसा कोई
बस हाथ
क्लब
दिखा
रोड
देने
के
का.
बीच में चलेगा तो
फिर तुम्हारा कितना भी
हाँ,
स्पीड हो मैटर नहीं करते है, बस हाथ दिखा.
दिखाया था मैं. बस स्कूटी वाला
2 years after pedestrian के ऊपर गिर के मरने वाला incident happened, this woman called Pigeon Goldie Osgood, because she used to she used to feed pigeons.
कबूतर बांट रही है, बताओ.
आओ
वो
आओ.
कौन सा गाना था? कबूतर जा जा जा.
She would feed pigeons उधर आसपास कहीं पे. So she was given the name Pigeon Goldie, but she was found beaten,
Goldie.
stabbed, and raped in her hotel room, and this case is still unsolved. फिर Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker, The Night Stalker used to torture, rape, and murder residents of Los Angeles, and he used to live in the Cecil Hotel. So serial killer आराम से आके रह रहा है उधर, किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. He used to pay $14 a night for his room, where he would walk in his blood-stained underwear barefoot up to his floor and into his room. मतलब वो चल के जा रहा है पूरा soaked in blood. सब ऐसे देख के उसको मतलब they turn away. मतलब क्या है ये? How common is this for somebody to just walk in completely blood stained and nobody says it?
भाई
अबे तुम्हें पता है who would
full
have made
continental
a
vibe.
With
तुम्हें
somebody
पता है who
called
would have
Jack.
made a very good serial killer?
क्या?
Who would have made a very good serial killer?
Who?
Out of who?
Out of everything, all the fictional characters who are not serial killers.
Sherlock Holmes. I think he would have
Sherlock
made a great
solve
serial
करता है
killer.
ना.
हाँ, तो that
वो
is
solve
exactly
करता
why
है.
he would have been very good
But
at it.
नहीं, but उसका क्या?
Because he'd know what not to do. He'd
नहीं,
do
जो
a,
कोई
he'd commit a crime.
my money is on Walter White.
Huh?
Walter White.
Movie है.
Hmm.
Movie है, but I still
भाई
think
क्योंकि
Sherlock.
Walter White नहीं,
क्योंकि
Heisenberg.
क्योंकि लिटरली पुलिस से ही बच रहा था वो, अगर क्योंकि वहां पे उन लोगों को मैथ से उतनी दिक्कत थी जितनी डेड बॉडीज से थी. तो
Did you ask this question solely so you could mention Breaking Bad?
maybe not.
हाँ, अबे वॉल्टर वाइट तो यार, वॉल्टर वाइट तो वो गाड़ी खराब हो जाने पे वो चड्डी में पुलिस के सामने गन लेके खड़ा हो गया था. वॉल्टर
I
वाइट कुछ
think
नहीं, हाइजेनबर्ग. हाँ, लास्ट सीजन का हाइजेनबर्ग.
The same person.
maybe.
भाई
I
जिस
still
तरह से
think
हाइजेनबर्ग
Sherlock
अपना
Holmes simply because he would commit a crime not even he could solve.
नहीं ना, वो वही तो पैराडॉक्स है.
I
अबे
think he
उसने
could
भाई
do it
जिस
because he is crazy enough to be able to do that. He's simply using his deduction abilities for something good. He could easily have become a serial killer.
अरे बट वही देखना, शर्लॉक का भी तो वो हाई ही चेस कर रहा था
हाँ
फर्स्ट
ना.
एपिसोड में. जो तुमने, अगर तुमने वो वाला पायलट देखा है जो रिलीज नहीं किया था, जो शायद 57 मिनट्स का था, जिसमें उसको काफी वो दिखा है, वो ले लेता है पिल उसमें. एक्चुअल जो आया था शो टीवी पे, जो पायलट एपिसोड आया था उसमें वो पिल नहीं लेता है ना. ये डालना मत उसमें. बट
Oh,
जो
by
अनरिलीज
the way,
पायलट है
even the Black Dahlia was seen at the Cecil Hotel.
मैं नहीं
before
पढ़ा
she
ब्लैक
got-
डॉग.
Do you not know about the Black Dahlia murders? Wow, okay, so I'm gonna tell
No.
you about it. But Black Dahlia was in roaming around Cecil Hotel days before she got murdered. But since you don't know what the Black Dahlia murder is, I need to enlighten you about it. But anyway, so Black Dahlia murder, essentially what happened was she was murdered in a park, and her body was severely mutilated, completely severed at the waist and drained of blood, leaving her skin pallid white. She had been dead for around 10 hours prior to discovery, and the body had apparently been washed by the killer, and her face was slashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating an effect known as the Glasgow smile. And she had several cuts on her body, and they, like uski corpse ko they placed in such a way that it seemed like she was posing. And I think this case is still unsolved.
ऐसे था क्या?
Posing.
I was posing.
So basically, this hotel has a lot of weird things, more than just Eliza Ham or Lamb. I don't know what her name was. But yeah, interesting facts about the Cecil Hotel you may or may not have known.
किधर है ये होटल?
Los Angeles.
चलते हैं।
It
हाँ
is
ले
a
लो,
tourist
नावला जाने का
destination.
परमिशन
जाके
नहीं
देख
है,
लो.
यूएस जाएगा।
लोनावाला
चिक्की का क्या पिक्चर? लोनावला में कोई सीरियल किलर है क्या?
होगा बे.
मालूम पड़ा मर गए देखने का। भाई अरे
मगन लाल।
अबे
उधर सीरियल किलर का नाम भी मगन लाल।
मगनलाल सीरियल किलर आले
रियल एंड ओरिजिनल मगन लाल।
That was a good one.
कॉपीराइट पड़ जाएगा अपने को मगनलाल से।
अभी इतना
प्रमोशन
मगन लाल
उसका
कॉपीराइट आता तो
signature
लोना
would be
ऑटोमेटिक।
उसका मर्डर के बाद सिग्नेचर would be एक चिक्की का पैकेट छोड़ के चला जाता है.
मुंह में आधा कटा हुआ
उसका
कि
मुंह
जो
में आधा
बंदा मरा
कटवाई
उसकी लास्ट विश थी कि वो एक मगनलाल चिक्की खा सके। यार
अबे तुमने दिल्ली वाली देखी है? तो उसमें भी वो लोग ऐसे ही करते हैं कि मतलब एक सीन है जिसमें कुणाल कपूर लाश का फोटो लेते हैं, तो ही पुट्स अ फ्लावर ऑन, मतलब उसके कान के ऊपर। बहुत फनी थी। एनीवे
भाई
I have another one, ठीक है.
हम्म,
This girl is called Rebecca Schaefer. She was the victim, not the killer. Basically, she was an actress in the 80s, and matlab uska role was like those girl next door, bubbly, lovely, sort of, cutesy, innocent girl who could do nothing wrong, sort of character. And she was in this sitcom, and she was this teenager. She's like 18, 19 years old when she was doing this role. And so basically she was like 18 to 21 ke beech mein, and she was like this girl next door type person, as well as the character she was playing. And there was this teenaged kid who had mental health problems right since he was a kid, but his parents ignored those problems. Her mom said he has nothing wrong, even though his teacher pointed out ki there's something wrong with him, because he was very isolated, didn't interact with people much, and well, telltale signs of mental health issues. So but her mom was like, "नहीं इसको कोई problem नहीं है, मतलब ठीक है एकदम whatever." And he was obsessed with her. Before he got obsessed with her, he was obsessed with this other teenage protege, or somebody. This kid was responsible for ending the Cold War or some shit. I don't remember, but she basically did something really cool. Well, basically she wrote a letter to the Russian prime minister, president, I don't know. And
मेरे को लगा वो नील आर्मस्ट्रॉन्ग का रॉकेट डिजाइन की रहेगी।
नहीं. She wrote
अभी
a
end
letter
हुआ था ना
to
Cold War।
the president or prime minister of Russia at the time, and वो पता नहीं sympathy gain की उसने, and he flew the family out to meet them, and she was basically sort of responsible for ending the Cold War. I don't know. So he was obsessed with her. कि वाह इसने क्या महान काम किया है. And he used to write letters to her, saying कि he was really like he wants to meet her, or he really likes her, or whatever. And he somehow managed to get a phone call with her as well. But obviously she got creeped out and said, "Don't call again." But हाँ, तो then she died in a plane crash. तो उसका सपना भी उधर ही मर गया. उसके बाद he found this chick, Rebecca Schaefer, after seeing like her in a sitcom, and apparently she was his ideal woman after seeing that, and he got extremely obsessed with her. But he would like watch the show when it came out. He would like record the show, watch it later on, watch it multiple times even. And भाई मतलब हाँ, तो उसके बाद he would write fan mail, because people do that. And obviously sometimes they respond, right? Like stars and all, they respond, and if they can't respond, they like send you something like a standard reply जो सबको मिलता है, but it makes you feel special कि oh they responded to me, और वो लोग sign कर देते हैं. So he used to get those kind of responses. Sometimes she would write like a personal response as well, जब उसका fame like कम था. But as she grew in popularity, obviously she couldn't write for everybody. So So he would get replies back, and that would make him feel obsessed with her even more. He was like, oh, so she also loves me back. Well, he got to that point, and then one day he made a trip from where
डर मूवी IRL
he made a trip from where he lived to where she was filming to try to meet her, and the guards.
इंडिया में रोज का है भाई ये सलमान भाई से साइकिल चला के मिलने आ रहे लोग
मालूम है, but the guards obviously said no, you can't go inside to meet her. So he went back home. But then she did this movie, ठीक है? She was 21 by this time, 21, 22. And she did this movie जिसमें एक sex scene था, ठीक है? And that jarred him. He was like, ये क्या है? Like, he used to think that everybody else in Hollywood is like a whore or like a bitch or whatever. But because she is like this girl next door character that she plays, she can't do anything wrong. So she's nice, she's pure. But she did the sex scene. So now he thinks that even she's a whore. And like everybody is the same and this and that. And so he decided to kill her. He decided to go and kill her because he's like, ये गलत काम कर रही है, and he wanted to knock some sense into her, so he decided इसको मारने का. So he goes, like he went to, again he made the journey to LA to get to kill her. Basically he found, उस समय it was very easy to find it was very easy to find contact information and house addresses of celebrities. You just had to call some agency or some shit and they would give it to you for free without any questions whatsoever. बहुत easy था तभी. So he found her address that way. वहाँ से he went to her address, knocked on her door.
Estelle
क्या
क्या?
अबे जोई की थी ना वो एस्टेल वैसे ही सिमिलर
अच्छा,
समथिंग
हाँ, okay.
एजेंट वो जोई की स्टॉकर भी तो थी एक वो ड्रेक बोलते थे उसको
हाँ सिमिलर
So he went
Then?
there, he found her address, went there. She was supposed to audition for Godfather 3. Or Godfather.
F.
I don't know.
F.
She was supposed to audition for the daughter, whoever that person was. She was supposed to audition for Godfather that day. And वो उस दिन अपने script के लिए रुकी हुई थी. जिस दिन he came to kill her. And उसकी like you know buzzer खराब हो गया था. So she had to go down to get it. And जब उसने buzzer दबाया, she went down to get it. She thought कि script आ रही है, तो she went to get it, but she met him instead, and she was very nice to him. She was like, he obviously got starstruck when like meeting her for the first time. So he got starstruck, couldn't say anything, just said he was a fan and this and that, and she was like, okay, like that's very nice of you, very kind of you. So she was very nice to him, and then she said, but you shouldn't come here. You should go. Well, I appreciate your support and all that, but you shouldn't be here, etc. And then she left. उसके बाद and then for second time he came back again. 1.5 घंटे बाद he was sitting in a cafe for 1.5 hours and he was rereading Catcher in the Rye because he was inspired by John Lennon's killer, because John Lennon ka killer read Catcher in the Rye before killing him. So he decided to he read that book, कहीं से तो inspiration मिल गई उसको कि I should also kill. Then he went back to her house and called her again. She thought कि उसकी script आ रही है. So she went down again, opened the door, shot her point blank. She died like 30 minutes, like in the journey to the hospital or some shit. And he obviously got convicted because he did it in front of everybody. So, and now he's in prison. So yeah.
तो बेसिकली एक डेविड बर्ग करके था, उसको कुछ तो प्रोफेसी हुई कि वो गॉड का मैसेंजर है या कुछ है, तो और फिर उसने ऐसे मतलब उसने अपना एक तो कल्ट शुरू किया था, चिल्ड्रन ऑफ गॉड, और उसमें फिर उसको कैरन मिली एंड कैरन was married to someone या फिर वो डेट कर रही थी तो she
Did
got
he
pregnant.
become the manager of the cult?
हाँ बाद में तो
Interesting.
तो
आगे बोल, sorry.
तो और फिर ना कैरन और इसने डेविड ने रिक को जो कैरन का बेटा था who was not David's son वो इन लोगों ने मतलब बोला कि he is the one who's gonna guide us when end times come तो कल्ट का तो बेसिक वो होता है कि कोई भी कल्ट हो तो दे scare you through like they make a hypothetical scenario about an impending doom कि कुछ तो खत्म होने वाला है मतलब सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है और
This
हम
was
सब मरने
even
वाले हैं
at Jonestown.
कोई भी कल्ट होगा तो वही इम्पेंडिंग डूम तो रहेगा ही रहेगा जोन्सटाउन में तो हाँ जोन्सटाउन में तो पूरा वही उनका ये था
basis ही
कि
वही था.
यूएस गवर्नमेंट मारने वाली है उन लोगों को
Hmm.
और भाई ये मतलब पूरा कल्ट ही पीडोफिलिया पे बेस्ड था और ये लोग बुक इसने इन लोगों ने एक बुक भी लिखी है और उसमें बेसिकली रिक बचपन से तो डेविड और कैरन और रिक जो कि बच्चा था ये तीनों सेक्सुअल एक्टिविटीज में पार्टिसिपेट करते थे मतलब वो शायद 2 या 3 साल का था तब से और फिर ये लोग ने इसके बारे में एक पूरी बुक लिखी है मेरे को बुक का नाम नहीं याद है
The
मैंने
kid
लिखा
was
भी नहीं
also a participant.
हाँ मतलब
मतलब he was
ऑब्वियसली
forced
विलिंगली
into
नहीं
it, but
हाँ हाँ और फिर और मतलब सारे पूरा जो इनका कल्ट था उसमें सब लोग के साथ यही था कि और सब ये लोग वो करते थे कि फ्री लव फ्री सेक्स ये सब बहुत जरूरी है एंड ये करो प्लीज तुम्हें भी करना चाहिए एंड दे हैड अकाउंट्स ऑफ कि कैसे करो और देयर इज अ वेरी नाइस डॉक्यूमेंट्री यूट्यूब पे कॉल्ड बॉर्न इनटू अ सेक्स वर्ल्ड तो अभी तो इसने रिक ने ही कमिटेड सुसाइड एंड ही रिकॉर्डेड अ वीडियो वो वीडियो भी है उसमें तो ही वांटेड टू किल हिज मदर डेविड तो मर गया था बट वो गया तो उसको उसकी मम्मी मिली नहीं बट ही किल्ड समवन एल्स फ्रॉम द कल्ट और उसके बाद ही कमिटेड सुसाइड बट दिस वुमन कैरन जर्वी अभी भी जिंदा है ये एंड शी स्टिल रन्स द फैमिली और वही कल्ट और इसकी वेबसाइट भी है karenservi.org तुम जाके
I
देख
feel
सकते हो
like we
लिंक
should
डाल
not
देंगे
have advertised that, but ठीक है.
अबे नहीं
I'm
दिस
kidding.
इज
Ketan यार.
मैं चाहता हूँ मतलब एटलीस्ट अवेयरनेस क्योंकि भाई शी इज बेसिकली गेटिंग अवे विद पीडोफिलिया तो
She's
जितने
getting
ज्यादा
away
लोगों
with
को
a
पता
lot
चले
more than just pedophilia, but
हाँ बट या वर्स्ट वर्स्ट चीज वही है तो जाओ देखो और
educate yourself.
कुछ कर सकते हैं हाँ
Pedophilia is bad, guys. Just in case that was not clear, pedophilia is not something you should indulge in.
अबे
Jeffrey Epstein मत बनो.
वो उसका नाम क्या है डॉक्यूमेंट्री का भेजना मेरे को लिंक भेज
बॉर्न इनटू अ
Born
सेक्स
into
कल्ट
a
डाल देंगे हम लोग कैप्शन में डाल देंगे वर्थ वॉचिंग ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं
And on that note, on the note of sex cults and pedophilia and being nonsense, we should end
Bye.
this here. But this was our first podcast. I don't know how repetitive this is going to be, how consistent any of us are going to be, or what anybody is going to talk about. This is very
4 साल बाद वीडियो आ रहा है नेक्स्ट
हाँ like आज ये डाला आज के बाद सीधा नेक्स्ट लीप ईयर में मिलेंगे and we'll make another video but
एंड थैंक यू जो अब तक देख रहा है इसको जो अभी तक देखा मतलब उनके लिए करना पड़ेगा
I don't think to anybody who lasted this long
probably
you have
DG
nothing else to do in life nahi Dhwani Dhwani would watch DG would watch it or maybe not I don't know
Sure,
but
on that.
but yeah
Bye.
this is the indecisive pod because we cannot decide anything and we don't
चलो
know
बाय
what we're going to talk about next, but we will talk about something. So hopefully you'll come and watch us do Guftagu as KP likes to say.
चलो बाय
अबे एक second, how do you end this? Wait, we didn't properly end it.
अबे वो abrupt कहीं पे कट मार देना हो